Today, we're flying on what might be Asia's most underrated airline, China Airlines, in business class on their 777-300ER from Taipei to San Francisco. China Airlines doesn't get talked about as much compared to their other Taiwanese aviation counterparts, EVA and Starlux, or even amongst Asian airlines in general. But after taking this flight, I think you'll see why they should be considered a contender. So, if you haven't flown with China Airlines yet, let's find out together if it's worth the cost or if we've all just been missing out. Our flight starts off here at Taoyuan Airport here in Taipei. Because our flight departs from Terminal 2 today, we have access to 2 different lounges here as business class passengers. The first is this one here, which is located on the 4th floor of Terminal 2 by Gate D6. This is what the lounge looks like. It's basically just a giant rectangle made up of seating with small round wooden tables and these single-person leather chairs. Towards the back, you'll find a self-service buffet. The food is pretty decent here, I'd say around a 7 out of 10, although their Asian options are definitely much stronger than their Western offerings, which shouldn't be a surprise. I mean, why even go to Taiwan if you're not going to eat Asian food? There's also a small self-service bar area here with spirits and wine. Okay, now the second lounge you can access is this one here, which is located on the 3rd floor by Gate D4. The upper level of this lounge is reserved for China Airlines passengers that have the top 2 status levels with China Airlines. As for us business class passengers with no loyalty to China Airlines whatsoever, we'll have to go down these set of stairs to access the main lounge area. And like the other lounge, this lounge is also one giant rectangle, so hopefully you don't get lost walking in a straight line. By the way, if anyone is able to translate the writing on the walls, I would love to know what it says. I tried to use Google Translate on it, but it was no help. Like the other lounge, there's a self-service buffet in the back. If food is your priority, the food offerings here are basically the exact same as the other lounge. Here's that same rice we saw upstairs, the same salads, the same sandwiches, and the same self-service bar with the same beverage options. If you are a food lover though, the one thing that this lounge has over the other one is that this one has a made-to-order noodle bar. There are 4 different noodle dishes for you to choose from, and you can place your order using the tablet that's off to the side here. I chose the Taiwanese braised beef noodle soup, and for me, this is the reason to choose this lounge over the other one. The beef was so tender and the noodles were nice and bouncy. I also had a chance to check out the shower rooms while I was here, and this is what they look like. They're nothing fancy, but they're clean and had all the basics of everything you would need to freshen up before your flight. Alright, so that is it for the lounges. Let's head on over to the gate so that we can catch our flight. Today, we'll be boarding out of Gate D2. And here's just a quick little peek at our 777 today waiting for us at the gate. As a business class passenger, we'll get to board in Group 1 after passengers that need special assistance and passengers with young children.
Paragon and premium business class passenger with a high priority lane. Thank you.
Can you passport? Can I see the name? Okay, please scan here. Thank you.
Hi, 16A. 16A.
16A?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Our 777-300ER today has 40 seats in business class in a 1-2-1 configuration. We'll be seated in seat 16A today. And before I even had a chance to sit down, the flight attendant asked me if I wanted her to make up the mattress topper for my seat. I guess they wanted to be proactive since this was an overnight flight, which I thought was really great of them to do. Our seats today have a 28-inch or 71 centimeter width and a row pitch of 78 inches or 198 centimeters. The side table has a small storage compartment, and then there's a larger storage compartment which has the remote inside. You'll also find the universal AC power port in here, as well as 2 USB-A ports and the headphone jack. And lastly, but most importantly, this is what the footwell space looks like. It does narrow towards the back, but I still found it to be roomy enough when you're sitting up. Before takeoff, we're offered a welcome drink. There was a choice between water or this pink chia seed honey lemonade drink. This was actually really good, the perfect balance between tart and sweet. We were also given a hot towel for our hands, and then, shortly after, the safety video plays, and then it's time for us to take off. Once we're in the air, the crew gets started on welcome service, and that starts with our tray tables getting dressed with a gorgeous tablecloth. It's one of the nicer tablecloths I've seen. It's almost like a satin-like material with some sort of design on it. And yes, it is the little things like this that make me happy. For the welcome drink, I chose the passion fruit lemon cocktail done in collaboration with Blah Blah Bar in Taipei. It had passion fruit liqueur, vodka, and lemon juice. It was definitely on the sweet side, but still good. For the welcome snack, we got a pack of dried fruit and nuts, as well as a pack of rice crackers. Okay, now let's take a look at the menus for both the food as well as the beverages. Here's the menu for the main meal, which was dinner. Next, here's the pre-arrival meal menu and the snack menu. In addition to the onboard menu, there are also a few online exclusive meal options, which you can see here. It includes a dish by 3 Michelin-star restaurant Le Palais, located in Taipei, as well as an option from 1 Michelin-star restaurant Mipon, also located in Taipei. As for drinks, here are the alcoholic and non-alcoholic options, and finally, here are all the wine selections. The appetizer arrives first, and it's basically a whole bunch of little mini appetizers all served on one tray. The first is the smoked duck breast with red wine plum sauce. This was a cold appetizer, and you could really taste the smokiness, which is a win for me. I love a good smoky flavor. Then there was this green salad with scallops. The scallops were nice and plump, no flat pancake scallops here. We were also offered some cheese bread, and this cheese bread was airy and pillow-like. It was like eating a cheese-flavored cloud, and who wouldn't want to eat a cheese-flavored anything? And finishing off the appetizers, there is this wheel pie filled with duck and truffle. By the way, it's branded with the T+T to represent 1 Michelin-star restaurant, T+T in Taipei, since they made our little wheel pie today. To be very honest, this wasn't very good. Presentation was nice, but it was just really mushy and kind of tasteless. It's kind of like when you meet someone that's really good looking, but then they have a terrible personality. The soup course arrives next, and it's a chicken broth with dried scallop. This was nice and warm and very comforting. Next up was the main. I did choose one of the online exclusives, which was done in collaboration with 1 Michelin-star restaurant Mipon. It's a pan-fried prawn dish with sweet and sour sauce, mullet roe, rice, and vegetables. The prawn was cooked really well, and the sweet and sour sauce was well balanced. But also, how pretty are these flower-shaped vegetables? They really nailed the presentation. Even the rice is shaped like a flower. And to end the meal, it's time for dessert. The flight attendant was really sweet and insisted on displaying all of the dessert options for me on the tray table. There was a choice between 2 Haagen-Dazs ice creams, a fruit and cheese plate, and a toffee cake. I did go for the toffee cake and the toffee cake only. I didn't eat all 3 desserts. The toffee cake was absolutely delicious, definitely a 10 out of 10 for me. Okay, now that dinner's done, let's take a look at the Amenity Kit. This is what it looks like, and it's a really nice leather pouch by designer Moschino. Inside the kit, you'll find earplugs, a comb, an eye mask, a dental kit, lotion, lip balm, and oil treatment from the brand Moroccan Oil, and finally, something a little more unique that you don't typically see in an Amenity Kit, which was this leather luggage tag. I love it when airlines include more unique items in Amenity Kits. Top marks from me for this. We were also given a pair of slippers as well as a bottle of water. Alright, it's now time for us to check out the lavatories. This is what the lavatories look like, and there are 3 of them shared amongst 40 business class passengers. I gotta say, I do love a lavatory with a window view, even though this was a red-eye flight and we couldn't see anything anyways. I also appreciate the fact that China Airlines jazzed up the space a little bit with this art mural on the back wall. There is of course a mirror and a sink, and in terms of amenities, there were some soaps and lotions from Moroccan oil, and there was also some shave kits. Honestly though, does anyone actually shave inside of an airplane lavatory? With the potential for turbulence, I don't really know if it's worth coming out of the lavatory with your face all slashed up. The faucet is automatic, but unfortunately, the garbage bin is not. There's also no foot pedal to open it, so you will have to push it open with your hands, which is kind of an icky thing to have to do right after you just washed your hands. Alright, let's head back to our seats now so that we can check out the snacks and entertainment. Back at our seats, let's get into fully lie flat mode. In fully lie flat mode, the seat is 78 inches or approximately 198 centimeters. This is what the blanket looks like. It's reasonably thick and of good quality. It will definitely keep you warm throughout the flight. You'll also get a standard size pillow, which passed my extremely scientific fluffiness test. The bed in lie flat mode was pretty comfortable, but not perfect. In terms of shoulder width, there was plenty of room. But when it comes to the footwell space, since it does narrow towards the back, I found the footwell space to be pretty tight when you're in lie flat mode. I wear a size 7 in women's shoes for reference, so if your feet are larger than mine, then your little piggies had better beware. As for the headphones, here's what they look like. They are noise cancelling, and they did a pretty good job. As for the in-flight entertainment screen, it's 18 inches or approximately 45.7 centimeters. For entertainment, they do have both Western and international films, but they definitely lean more heavily on international options, so keep that in mind. You might want to download your own movies and shows if international films are not your thing. There's also no Bluetooth capability, so you won't be able to use your own headphones with China Airlines in-flight entertainment screen. But there is complimentary Wi-Fi for business class passengers, so you can use your headphones with your own device if you want. Okay, now let's talk about snacks. You have two options. The first is heading on over to the galley, where you'll find a selection of both alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages. You'll also find a basket of fruit, for those of you that want to be healthy. There were also some chips and crackers you could choose from, and honestly, this setup is really nice. It looks more like a retail store than an airplane galley. And of course, it's not a legit Asian airline unless they have instant noodles. There were 2 flavors available to choose from, which was really nice. The other option for snacks is ordering off the a la carte menu. Honestly, I hadn't planned on ordering anything, but then the flight attendant stopped by and whispered in my ear, "You have to try the pineapple bun burger. It's so good." And as a rule of thumb, you should always listen to the crew. And man, was I glad I listened to her, because this was a 10 out of 10. A pineapple bun with the most tender beef belly, mushroom sauce, tomato, and lettuce. Nothing better. Okay, now before we get to the Prio Bravo meal and whether or not China Airlines Business Class is worth it, let's talk about how much all this cost.
Okay, so as always, we need to talk about cost, both the cash cost as well as what I paid. So first, what I paid, I did use points for this. I used Air France KLM Flying Blue Miles, and one way between Taipei and San Francisco was 66,500 Air France KLM Flying Blue Miles plus 88.62 euros in taxes and fees, which I feel like is a really, really great redemption. In general, I feel like China Airlines has some really great award spacing available. They tend to provide very good value. It is very typical to see award spacing between Taipei and the West Coast for less than 70,000 points, like what I got, especially when you're comparing it to the other 2 major Taiwanese carriers, EVA and Starlux. EVA and Starlux typically have a higher point redemption cost, so less than 70,000 points is really, really great. Definitely check it out if you're looking to do award spacing. But of course, we do also need to compare the cash costs, what you would have paid if you had paid in cold hard cash. So as always, I have to put my disclaimer in there because there's always going to be someone that brings it up. But these prices are for a round trip cost between Taipei and San Francisco, and it is just for this particular route on this particular day. If you are searching on a different day or maybe a slightly different route, your cash cost might be higher or lower because it's dynamic pricing. That's just how it is. So let's get into it. The prices I am about to show you are for round trip between Taipei and San Francisco.
So the cash cost round trip was $5,120.53 US. And then I've also included some other currency conversions based on the current exchange rate. What do you think about that cash cost? It's now time for the pre-arrival meal, and we're given another hot towel for our hands. And of course, our tray table gets dressed with the tablecloth. I ordered the falafel with roasted fig and brie, served with scrambled egg. This was done in collaboration with Michelin Bib Gourmand restaurant Little Tree Food in Taipei. The scrambled eggs were fluffy and the falafel was cooked well and tasted great. On the side, there was a cheese croissant and a bread roll, a small bowl of Bircher muesli, a bowl of fruit, and we also got a deck of China Airlines playing cards, which I was excited about. I personally love some good airline merch. And as we start to make our descent here into San Francisco, let's talk about China Airlines Business Class and if it's worth it. On one hand, there is no denying that their seats and their lounges are dated. But despite the seats being dated, they're still comfortable, and really they get the job done for those long-haul flights. Where I personally feel China Airlines really excels, though, is in their soft product. Service was excellent, and I found the crew to not only be efficient and proactive, but also pretty outgoing, which surprised me as I usually find that crews on Asian airlines tend to be a little more reserved. I think they also do a good job with the food. And while I didn't necessarily enjoy everything I ate, I do think that China Airlines places a strong focus on providing high-quality offerings, with several dishes and beverages being done in collaboration with multiple prominent Taiwan establishments. Overall, I feel like China Airlines provides good value, especially given that it's pretty common to find award space for less than 70,000 points on this route. And even in general, I find that their cash cost to be slightly less than their other Taiwanese aviation counterparts. But let me know what you think about China Airlines Business Class. Do you think they're underrated, or would you rather fly with other carriers instead? As always though, if you've enjoyed the video today, please do like it and subscribe so that we can fly together again soon.